Hi, Noel from Rittenhouse. Today we're going to discuss on how to rebuild GS40 reg and the cause that might lead you to believe that you have to rebuild it is if you have lots of flow back to your tank and no pressure. So we'll take this one apart and show you what parts will need to be replaced. Okay, just to go over GS40 reg. On the back of this is where it actually bolts to the pump. This is the inlet from the pump. This outlet here is a return back to the tank, which is straight flow back. Nothing should go on the end of it. You could have a problem with stuff plugging up in like an agitation nozzle, for instance. If it does that, you could blow the reg or the pump or both, and it would get very costly. Now, just to show you a few of the parts on here, it's how to adjust the pressure. Lowest pressure is at 1, that locked down. The higher you move it up, it has a range from 1 to 4, the higher the pressure. To reach maximum pressure with this, release this, turn the brass knob all the way to the top, flip it back over, and then lock it in. Bring it down. As I said, the further down you lock it, the higher the pressure will go. Now, the other thing, like any other regulator, this one has the gauge on it. If the gauge is showing pressure and the unit's not running, twist it off, buy a new gauge and put it on. Note that the gauge on this is colored. The ones you get will not be. So what you look for is either the bar or the PSI on the unit, and the particular pressure on this one is 1,000. So you would replace this one with 1,000 PSI gauge. Okay, also on here you'll see 2 valves. They can be used for either feeding 2 hose reels or 1 for agitation, 1 for the reel. If in the closed position like this, you find that you're still getting product coming out, either the agitation or a reel, replace them. They're quite simple to replace. Just unthread them and replace them with new ones. Okay, we're going to proceed to take this apart. There's actually only 2 bolts that hold this in. So break them free. Keep tension on the top of this as you're undoing the bolts, as there is a secondary spring inside the unit. But pressing down on the top of this actually serves 2 purposes. Keeps the spring compressed that's inside and makes it a lot easier to take the bolts off. Now once it comes apart, the spring will be stuck in the top side along with the piston, the seat. Now, before we go on with that, this seat here is what the rubber one sits up against, and it just sits into the base of the housing. Now, your kit, which I'll show you in a few minutes, does not come with this seat. If this seat shows any sign of wear, grooves, or anything, you will have to order this separate. So it is advisable to go ahead and take this apart before ordering any parts for repair to this reg. So, with that shown and that it's said, set this aside. Now, to replace the seat in here and the O-ring and the spring, we simply push down on the rod that runs through to the top. That will drop out that shaft. This spring and the adjustment will come out as well. It may fall out in a couple pieces. Just pick it up and put it back together. Now, before we replace anything down here, there's a seat inside that seals around this shaft. You may have to replace it. So you take your pick or a screwdriver and pull it out. And being caked in and so on and so forth, you may have to work at it for a little bit.